Hey everyone. So yeah, I finished watching the next episode of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, The Fate of Lightspeed Part 1. I think that was the name. Let me check. Yep, Fate of Lightspeed. This was a really cool episode, and there's only one episode left. This is always weird when I get to like the end of a show, like close to the end. I'm like kind of hesitant to watch the last episode. Like, the weirdest was Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I got to the end of the series and I just didn't want to watch the last episode because I didn't want it to be over yet. Then they announced season 2, so then I watched it. Anyway, Lightspeed. The opening to this one is really cool. It starts off with Ryan is in that tomb in the desert. He's looking over like the symbols in the wall. Okay. Anyway, that key from before it like implanted itself in the wall and be or something. I don't know. Anyway, um, he touches it and he gets a vision, just like Troy in Megaforce, huh? Probably coincidence. Anyway, he gets this vision of a big army of monsters, and so he contacts the Rangers, and he's trying to tell them about whatever he's learned, but then he gets cut off, and then the opening credits play, and then we're back with the Ranger. Oh yeah, after he's cut off from the Rangers, Banshiro shows up and captures him. Then the opening credits play. Then the Rangers are back at the Aqua Base, and they're like, Banshiro's captured Ryan, even though they haven't seen that. It cut off before they could see it. Oh, whatever. So, um, yeah, they're debating with Carter about going to Skull Cavern to find him. Carter wants to go in alone because if they all went together, Banshiro would notice them. Or something, I don't know. It's not really, I don't know, I guess they think that's what what could happen. Later on when Carter goes there, it's not like there's a defense there. Banshiro's not even, like, paying attention, but whatever. Uh, let's see. Carter goes alone on the mobile armored vehicle. Nice to see that back. Fairweather. Oh yeah, this is a really cool scene. Dr. Fairweather, she goes to check on the Megazord. They've been repairing the Megazord. She goes into the room and let's see. She Oh yeah, the room's all dark. She hears something and she goes to flip the lights on. And when she turns the lights on, you just see the Megazord and the whole room is just the Megazord is covered with batlings. The room is filled like to the top with batlings just all over the place. And so then she sets off an alarm. She alerts Captain Mitchell, and there's a cool scene where she's talking to Mitchell through the security camera, and just then, like, you see, like, all this rubble, like, break through one of the passageways, then you see a whole bunch of the Batlings running through. It's so cool. And then, so she leaves, and then, like, the Batlings destroy the security cameras for some reason. Or wait, did they? No, I don't remember. I think they just caused general mayhem. Anyway, they've already overrun the Aqua Base because, I guess they multiply quick. The Rangers are fighting them off, but it's no use, and the Batlings even managed to, like, take control of the Life Force Megazord and attack the Aqua Base from the outside. And this was a really cool scene. I remember seeing this when I was a kid, and it was so surreal actually seeing anything interact with the Aqua Base itself. That was a really cool thing. And interestingly, on Ranger Wiki, it mentions that the Life Force Megazord is out of scale here, and it made me think, oh, it's interesting because, like, the whole reason is probably because it's a suit, and the Aquabase it's probably the actual model that they used for, like, the Aquabase in the show, so that's probably, like, how big it was to scale with a person, and they just didn't think about, like, the proper scale of the Aquabase to one of the Megazords. I'm looking at my notes here because I watched this a couple days ago, and I went to work in between, and I'm really tired. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, uh, the Aqua Base is just getting wrecked. Like a whole like section is just destroyed, and Mitchell is in shock from this while he watches the Batlings destroying the Aqua Base. And it reminds me a lot of in Lost Galaxy when Terra Venture was destroyed. It crashed, and Commander Stanton is standing there just in shock of what's happened. Like, he never thought this would happen. It's a gigantic space station. They were doing so well, and now it's just all wrecked. And it's very similar here. Something, just the unthinkable happened. So then, let's see. Fairweather orders an evacuation of the Aqua Base. And, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a weird little bit where Captain Mitchell doubts himself. Like, he's like, what was this all for? And it's kind of weird. Like, I guess he's just in shock from what's going on. Dana says some stuff to him, and then he's better. Alright. Oh, and then the Rangers, Fairweather, and Mitchell are trapped in the room. Let's see. One of the passageways was destroyed, and the other one is blocked. Let's see. Back to Carter. He's arrived at the Skull Cavern. And, oh, this is a cool scene. Banshira is giving a speech to an army of batlings, and it reminds me of, back in Zeo, when you see the big army of cogs, and also in Space, when Astronema is giving her speech to all the Quantrons. Oh, and also Divatox gave a speech to Piranatrons. Did Drakina or Scorpius ever give a speech to the Stingwingers or anybody? Huh. You know, that's an odd little thing I never thought about, like the villains giving speeches to their minions. Huh. Anyway, Carter sneaks past, he finds Ryan. Ryan's locked up in shackles. He frees him, but just then they hear Banshira coming. So Carter hides in this sarcophagus. And there was an interesting thing I noticed that I never really thought about before. Ryan, he's free from the shackles, but he has to pretend he's back in them. So he just puts his hand, like his fingers, through the shackles. He's just holding them up to look like he's still in there. It's a good thing Banshira wasn't observant at this point. And then, oh yeah, Carter's morpher goes off. She turns around, and then there's a insert shot where Ryan's hands are back in the shackles, and then he, like, breaks the shackles off. Even though his hands weren't in the shackles before. So that was a weird thing, I just... thought that was an interesting thing to know. It doesn't really affect anything, it's just a weird little bit. So anyway, Ryan attacks her from behind. She turns around. Then Carter opens a sarcophagus, and then he attacks her. And then they morph together, and that is just so freaking cool. And it's the first time in like 20-some episodes that Ryan has morphed. That's really cool. And it's just really neat to see him and Carter together again, finally, fighting a bad guy together. I really missed Ryan all this time. I really wish they could have put him in the show more often. So let's see, looking at my notes. Whoa. Okay. Oh yeah, then Jinxer and some Batlings, they go into Mariner Bay, and they steal one of the Megazords. In the last episode, one of the Megazords was damaged, and it's not taken back to the Aqua Base yet. So anyway, I guess it was fixed? Like, it didn't look like it was fixed earlier. Like, at the beginning of the episode, or was it last episode? I don't remember now. It shows, like, the Megazord is on the ground, and they're, like, putting, like, pieces of it onto, like, flatbeds on trucks. So how are they able to pilot it if it's in pieces like that? I don't know. Whatever. Oh yeah. It takes these huge stone slab things. I don't know where it got them, but it's taking them to the center of the city and positioning them in a certain way to, I don't know, restore Banshira's palace to the surface, I guess. It's not really clear what exactly the stones do. And then we are back to Carter and Ryan. They're overwhelmed by the Batlings, and they're captured. And the other Rangers are still stuck in the Aqua Base, and the windows are cracking, and it begins to leak. And that's where the episode ends. And that was amazing. This was a really, really good episode. The tension steadily builds in a really cool way, and we get to see a bunch of stuff that we haven't seen for a while, like Ryan back. Um, the Rangers are in like a truly dire situation, and it's just really cool. Let's see. Hmm. Looking through my notes here, I don't really have anything like. Not, I don't have too much to say about it. Like, I really like the episode, but it's just not a whole lot to talk about other than like it's a really good finale for the series. It's one of the strongest. Usually, like if people make lists of like their favorite finales from Power Rangers, this is usually on there. After like this first the original Saban era, the finales like kind of got more and more minimal. Like I think let's see, Ninja Storm had a really big ending. Then Dino Thunder had kind of a small ending actually. Like I haven't watched Dino Thunder in years, but I don't remember there being like too big of stakes or anything. SPD I don't really remember the ending. Mystic Force had a kinda big ending. I don't know. It didn't feel big there. Overdrive I didn't like the ending. Like spoilers, Furious gets the Chrono Aurora and it turns him into a monster that looks absolutely nothing like him. The Rangers blow him up. The end. Eh. The stuff with like Norg and Spencer together, that's a lot better actually. Jungle Fury had a kind of that actually Jungle Fury had a pretty cool ending. RPM had a cool ending. Samurai was kind of small feeling, kind of like Mystic Force. Megaforce's Super Megaforce's finale just sucked. We didn't get any kind of resolution for a lot of anything. Dino Thunder has probably the most infamous of finales. Ninja Steel, I don't remember. Beast Morphers, and Dino Fury didn't really have a mid-season finale like the last couple seasons have had. Like I watched all the episodes and I got to episode 20 and then it ended and I was like, okay, what's the next episode? Oh, it's the Christmas one? So yeah, anyway, back to Lightspeed. I went to Ranger Wiki, looked up trivia. There wasn't really a whole lot of trivia that was too interesting, except for there was one thing I found really interesting. They listed all the demons that you see in the Shadow World or wherever. When Ryan has his vision of the monster army, you see just a whole bunch of random monsters moving around, and they had a list of all the monsters there. And there were some really interesting ones. Like they had a lot of Mighty Morphin monsters. There was a few Beetleborgs monsters, and the weirdest one is apparently there's somebody dressed up in Rita's costume there. Huh. All right. Maybe it's more noticeable in the next episode because I know in the next episode you get to see those monsters more. So that's something I'll have to look out for because that is really weird. Why would they use like such an iconic design? The monster I remember seeing like really well, and as a kid, I thought it was weird they used it was Eye Guy because he's such a distinctive looking monster. It seems like they'd want to use more like I don't know monsters that have more intricate designs, and they weren't like a really basic, instantly recognizable monster like him. Um, yeah, I can't think of anything else to say, so I guess I'll end it here. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.